We're going to talk about Ravens-Dolphins as well at the end of the show. But let's start off with love-hate running backs, where we heard from Derrick Henry on correcting mistakes heading into the game with Miami.
Ooh.
I'm just my worst critic of myself, very critical of myself. And it's not anybody else, it's just me, battling myself and my thoughts. So it's just mad at myself. But I'll get through it, watch the film, we'll pass it, even though it'll be hard. But just to get ready for Miami. It's going to be a quick turnaround. So got to lock in on that one. Got to flush this one.
He looks locked in. He's like, you know what? If you looked in his eyes, what that was is basically like, I'm ready to lead Matthew to his second win of the season.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, a much better running back than Donald Brown, who was the man that Dave Peyton Manning was very upset with when he blew the block. Derrick Henry comes in at...
UConn legend, by the way, Donald Brown.
There you go. Derrick Henry comes in as running back number 9. I think that things are going to look a lot different for the King with Lamar Jackson back under center. And Lamar Jackson... who we welcome back into our lives.
Drinks for free.
He
drinks for free. And I thought, Lawrence, that might be, because you are a big Lamar Jackson fan. You are tradition. You've dressed as Lamar Jackson on the show before.
That's what y'all expect.
Yes.
But one of my favorite quarterbacks growing up was the sheriff, Peyton Manning. So, and Peyton Manning would be very happy and proud that Lamar Jackson is returning tonight.
Yeah. Look, I get that. I'm just respectfully, one of my favorite actresses growing up was Tiffany Amber Thiessen, but I'm not going to dress as Kelly Kapowski tomorrow.
I hope you do not.
I'm not going to. I'm saving you, America.
Bourbon breath with Lamar being back. I have a feeling it'll be vintage King Henry time. What do you guys think?
Yes, thank you, Bourbon breath, getting us back on track. You're absolutely right. Derrick Henry makes the love list today. With Lamar Jackson at quarterback this year, he's been averaging 5.9 yards per carry. That's compared with just 3.7 without Lamar. And then you think about this workload, right? And so Derrick Henry probably going to get at least 15 carries. Why do I mention 15 carries? 4 of the 5 running backs that have gotten at least 15 carries against the Dolphins so far this year, they scored at least 20 fantasy points. No team has allowed more running back rushes of 20 or more yards this year than your Miami Dolphins. So Derrick Henry, top 10 play for me, makes the love list. King Henry, it's probably not enough to save my season, but it is enough to save the season of the Ravens. It is a reason why Jay Croucher tried desperately to trade an injured Quinshon Judkins
Wasn't injured at the time.
for Derrick Henry. But you knew, Jay.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
You knew it was coming.
He'll be back.
Yes, he will be.
You can still make the trade if you want.
And I think I had Quinshon on the hate list last week.
Yes.
That New England defense.
It is a tough New England defense, which we'll talk about soon. But Lawrence... so we have a question from Valiant Vincent. I predict 80-plus all-purpose at yards and a touchdown for Zay Flowers today. And if I'm right, Barry should have to dress up as Kelly Kapowski tomorrow. Okay,
yes.
Not really a question, rather a statement of intent and a demand.
Yeah, respectfully, Valiant Vincent, whether I should or should not, I'm not going to. Again, honestly,
Hey, hold on. What was the guy name?
Valiant
Vincent.
Valiant Vincent. Why you want to see that?
I'll make it. So Valiant Vincent, I'm not going to do it. I'm just letting you know right now. But because we are doing the regulars Halloween costume, and you can tweet your costumes at us, FFHH Halloween. Valiant Vincent, what you should do, if Zay Flowers does not get 80 all-purpose yards and a touchdown, you should dress as Kelly Kapowski and send us a picture, and I promise to feature it tomorrow on the show.
Yeah, and we don't know what you look like, Valiant Vincent, but I know that Matthew Berry would not look good as Kelly Kapowski, so at least there's some variance with you. You could look good.
Yeah, respectfully, I don't look good as Matthew Berry. So, just imagine if then once you start going down the road.
Yeah. Please, Matthew, you look very, very dapper today. Nice little cardigan operation.
Well, we've got the DraftKings commercial later today. You and I do. So I gotta look sharp for Mr. King.
Yeah, fancy Thursday for Mr. King. We transition from the King, Derrick Henry, into perennially one of the most underrated running backs in football, Lawrence Josh Jacobs. All he does is score a touchdown and put up 70, 80 yards. Now he gets the Panthers, who just got eviscerated on the ground by Jay Cook.
Yeah, touchdowns have been the big thing for Josh Jacobs lately. He's only got a total of 88 rushing yards on 26 carries in his last 2 games, so that part of it isn't good. And to be honest, this Carolina run defense isn't as bad as it was to start out the season. They've held 4 of their last 5 opponents to under 40 rushing yards. That includes Breece Hall, Javonte Williams, Devon Achane. But the thing is, like I just said, for Josh Jacobs, 4 straight games with touchdowns, 3 of those games were 2 touchdowns. I think the Green Bay defense is going to put it on the Carolina offense, which will give the Packers more opportunities for Josh Jacobs to do his thing, and he gets back to having some of that rushing yardage that we used to against these Panthers.
Yep, 13.5-point favorites, the Packers, so you suspect that Jacobs is going to get in the end zone.
I think last week James Cook had over 200 yards against him.
Yes.
Over under 200 yards for Josh Jacobs this week.
I'm going to go under.
All right,
But I would say over 100. I'm going
like
to say
that.
he gets 100.
Very good chance to go over 1.5 touchdowns.
Yes, I like that as well. By the way, I literally just noticed, because I was so distracted by the blonde hair. I just noted the wristbands. Which is a nice touch.
Yes.
Because come on, man, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand.
If you
but like, if
know
you should
how-
use the wristbands to wipe your sweat, that's
Now, see, if it was Denver Broncos, Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I mean that's a better. Chad Powers, I agree with you. It's more Chad Powers.
Yeah,
than,
but Chad Powers didn't mess up his neck and come back to be.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
By the way,
savage.
if you look at it the right way, Chad Powers is basically looking at Lawrence being like, what the hell, dude? That's a WTF look on Chad Powers' face.
I think he looked kind of pleasantly proud.
Yeah.
Like he's like,
also,
oh, well, look at him.
While
Look
not,
at
not intending at all to look like Peyton Manning, Chad Powers looks way more like Peyton Manning than you do.
I'm
true.
gonna give you that there for a plethora of reasons.
Of all the things that's going on, the hair is obviously the big thing. But when has Peyton Manning ever worn shorts?
I know.
Listen, guys. When you play footballs, OTAs. You can't just wear football pants. I gotta give you a little practice here.
Not since we
Why
saw
is it a bib as well?
I mean, like yesterday we showed a
Wife's
photo.
Colts shirt?
Yeah, yesterday we showed a photo of one of the regulars that was dressing up as Jay, and basically he put a Lakers jersey on, but like just put a piece of paper that said that Sparks over it, like this basically like a discount WNBA jersey.
Right.
That still looked more like Lisa Leslie than you look like Peyton Manning.
Listen, I do not take offense to not looking like Peyton Manning. I love me some Peyton Manning, but I do not take offense to not looking like Peyton Manning. So there we go. I'm just.
Here's the other question I asked for the regulars. So I want the regulars
Lawrence
to
is
weigh in
pretty
on what
overpaid.
Lawrence looks like. But the other thing I'm asking the regulars is like, given the situation that Lawrence has this neck brace, he's still recovering from back surgery. It's going to take him a little while until he gets out of the neck brace. So if you were Lawrence and you're in this neck brace, what would have been a better costume that he could have done incorporating? You're challenging the regulars. I disagree. I believe in the regulars.
I would like to see this one.
Who do you think you are? Raise the flags. Where are you guys at? Let's go. Tej, come on.
All right, DeAndre Swift. You can chime in too, DeAndre Swift. You got any opinions about what's going on to my right? But DeAndre Swift, he plays the Bengals defense. Al Golden, Matthew, came across from college. He's running effectively a college-level defense right now at Cincinnati. About as good a matchup as you can get.
So every single game this year, literally every single game this year, the Cincinnati Bengals, your Cincinnati Bengals, Jay, have allowed at least 87 yards from scrimmage to an opposing running back. Every single game. Here's the other thing I'm going to say. Every single game that a running back has seen at least 12 touches against the Cincinnati Bengals this year, they've averaged 20.6 fantasy points per game.
Right.
All right? DeAndre Swift has never had less than 13 touches in a game this year. Ergo, ipso facto, therefore, as it be, DeAndre Swift, the top 12 play this week. It's obvious. You see it right there on your screen. That Week 8 game against the Ravens, he did have 11 rush attempts, but he did have 2 receptions. So, again, he's had at least 13 touches in every single game this year. Running backs have seen at least 12 touches against the Bengals, averaging over 20 fantasy points per game since Week 4. He's the 7th best running back in fantasy football. DeAndre Swift, a poor man's Javonte Williams, if you will. Jay Croucher is my running back 11 this week. Bear down.
Bear down. Swifties unite. All right, let's move ahead to TreVeyon Henderson, who gets a very favourable matchup against the Falcons. I think it's very instructive. The Patriots are like 6.5-point favourites in this game against the Falcons, a team that just closed favourite in San Francisco not that long ago. Now, TreVeyon's been trending up. He just had 10 for 75 on the ground against the Browns. Ramondre Stevenson, a little bit of an injury question mark as well, with some uncertainty around him. But I think the main thing, Lawrence, is just your Atlanta Falcons, the run defense is just a catastrophe. Like, they just don't have big people on the defensive line, and they're getting gashed whoever they play.
Right. It's been happening multiple weeks in a row. You really saw it against the Bills. Even though their defense dominated the Bills in the passing game, they started running with James Cook. He was dominating. He had 50 rushing yards in the third quarter alone. Next week comes CMC. All of a sudden, he's back to CMC after averaging 3 yards a carry. Go to last week against the Dolphins. They did whatever they wanted with the Falcons defense. So with TreVeyon Henderson, a little banged up Ramondre Stevenson, just the combination of that and him kind of coming on, I could see them running against that light front seven.
They need to see, I mean, again, last week was an encouraging situation. They need to see more of what they can get from TreVeyon Henderson. They're rumored to be in the market for a running back. Obviously, Antonio Gibson out for the year, but just they're clearly not happy with what their running back production is. And there's a scenario here where they say, well, like, we'll go out, we're working the phones, we're working the wires, if you will. But maybe the answer was right here in front of our face. Maybe TreVeyon Henderson can be the guy that they drafted him to be. And so, again, we've seen the explosiveness. He's not going to be an every down back. They probably do need to add some depth. I don't know who's out there on potentially trade. Could Breece Hall wind up to be a Patriot?
Yep.
I don't know if they'll trade him within the division, but
there's been some reporting that the Patriots very much on the lookout for a running back, which isn't great given what they just spent on TreVeyon Henderson draft capital-wise.
It isn't, but I buy the argument that perhaps this is a week where he's a flex play with some upside.
Indeed. All right, let's get to others receiving votes. Headlined by hero from Week 8, Matthew, the great, the immortal Kamani Vidal, who plays the Titans.
Yeah, by the way, in those last 3 starts, this is somebody we talked about on Blind Date yesterday. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched yesterday's show, but Kamani Vidal is averaging over 19 touches a game, basically 100 yards from scrimmage in his 3 starts this season. He's the 10th best running back in fantasy. Nice matchup against the Titans to allow the 3rd most fantasy points to running backs. How about Tyrone Tracy? No Cam Scadaboo, unfortunately. So Tyrone Tracy will get the majority of the work here. He's had 8 career games with at least 15 touches. He's averaging 15 points in this game. 11% target share for Tracy as well, which is nice. San Francisco bottom 10 in terms of most fantasy points allowed to opposing running backs the last month. And how about Bam Knight? I'm not saying Bam Knight is great. You see him at running back 23, but as a flex, you could do worse and probably have. He's playing the Cowboys, who've given the 2nd most rushing yards to running backs over the last 4 weeks. By the way, last 2 games very quietly, Bam Knight has 89 touches. I'm sorry, 29 touches. That makes no sense. I was like, 89, wait, what? All
There have been days in football.
No, here's what it is. He's 29 touches over the last 2 weeks, 80% of the team's goal-to-go rushing attempts.
There you go.
Sorry. So I write my stats down, and then, there's a lot of numbers.
Well, they got rid of Michael Carter, too, so that tells you a lot there.
They believe in Bam Knight.
Yeah.
And by believe, I mean they know he exists.
And I think they also know that Trey Benson is trending toward, like, he's looking good and trending towards coming back. I think he comes off the IR next week.
Eligible to, yeah. We'll see if he does. But for this week, the starting running back of your Arizona Cardinals is, in fact, Bam Knight. I believe that's his given name, his Christian name, Bam Knight.
Yes.
I think it's Zonovan.
Is it Zonovan? Yes, I think that I know.
No relation to Bam Bam Funkhauser.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.